So, getting into this topic, even though I'm young, I'm kind of an old young guy, you know. For example, I was saying earlier that I use a lot of pedals on the road, right? And nowadays, you have the Kemper, the quad and fractal. All of that is amazing, really. But when I listen, I still think that it has a sound of its own, you know? So I see a lot of people playing with Kemper. But deep down, if someone has a very clinical ear, the Kemper sounds like a Kemper. Then there are people who, like the HX to me sounds like an HX. HX has a crackling, a plastic sound, which is something that irritates me. And I'm almost getting rid of it because of that. Do you use it? I use the HX. I don't use it for amp simulation anymore because I use universal audio. When I put the universal audio next to the HX, it was something like striking. I couldn't use the HX anymore. And to this day, I use the amp on stage. So with this newer crowd, I'm kind of the counterculture guy sometimes because I carry a lot of pedals. I request an amp in the rider. I think with Gabriel, they didn't use amps on stage anymore. And then when I got there, I request a Devil. If there's no Devil, a Twin. If there's no Twin, an AC30. And then I create a stereo setup with my universal audio, which is a Fender, a Dream. So on one side, I'm sending the Fender simulation. And on the other side, there's a real Fender Twin with a mic and all.
Okay, so you request an amp, and on one line you put the AD in line, right?
Yes, and man, the universal audio is so bizarre that you can't. The feeling it gives you of a tube is very similar. Are you familiar with this AD pedal?
No, universal audio. Torquato uses it a lot too.
Tokar has all of them, right? Even the new ones have arrived.
It's a lot. It's big. It's small.
No, they are several pieces of the same size like this. You've seen it, man.
You must have seen it, yes. A lot of people are using it. It simulates amplifiers.
You saw Torquato talking like that.
It's the Dream Lion, right? Which is Marshall, right?
That's right. Then there's the Ruby, which is the Vox, and now they've released two more, which is the Rectifier, a Mesa Boogie.
Really, really good.
Man, like, in terms of simulation of mood, it's really expensive. It's expensive, though, man.
3,000 fits perfectly. There's also the Woodrow, if I'm not mistaken, which is the bassman, and, if I'm not mistaken, which is the bassman, and...
That's right.
The new little golden one, whatever?
No, a new one comes out, which is Robin Ford's. The Robin Ford one.
The Dumble. The Dumble, yes. The little golden one.
Little golden one to test that?
No, you know that at home? I'm like this with my wife. What do? You guys can do it. You're married. You can do this for my wife. Then I'm there on YouTube with her watching something while lying in bed, and Torquato's video shows up, right? I tell my wife, you see, Tati? Torquato is also enjoying the pedal there. Look. No, but I said, no, he's spending money on the pedal. You see? You have to buy it otherwise.
It's because it never ends, right?
It never ends.
Okay, but when are we going to stop?
It never ends. It only ends when your money runs out, you know?
Okay, but if Mateus reaches a sound that he loves, does he have to leave because he needs another sound? How does that work? Think about it.
Yeah, like the universal audio was the only one I could put side by side, do a blind test and say, man, this one is very similar. There's nowhere else to go with this. I think there's nowhere else to go.
But the quad cortex, don't you think?
Man, I think you have to think about what you're going to say here. Ha 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 ha. I like it like this. I would have. My desire today, if I could, would be to have my pedal set up and travel with a quad. I couldn't have both yet, but I don't want to get rid of the pedals because I wanted to clone my setup and carry it with me. I also think it's like this, man, for those who are listening. No, so it makes a difference. But I think even for musicians, it's very hard to.
It's because you said you found the HX Stomp very... You feel it. Not only when playing, but also when listening.
Yeah, the HX has a thing that when you push a pedal on it, and so I can say this because I talked about it with Coimbra, I discussed it with several friends, Tiago Vieira, many friends. And man, when you push a pedal on it, it crackles more than usual, it distorts a bit more. I think the situation gets worse when you start pulling a digital signal from it. There's an idea like this for people who have it, because sometimes people are using a pedal board and start pulling signals, pulling signals on the compressor, pulling on the drive, pulling on the... In the end, you're pushing open volume into the DI input, the mixer, wherever you are.
Yeah, I understand.
So I think the HX lies quite a bit like that, especially when you use it together with other pedals.
Lies quite a bit. What do you mean by lies quite a bit? Are you saying that
There, the sound.
it's not real? It's because, man, I think there are two things. One is the feeling when playing,
I think it's both things.
and the other is for the listener,
Yes.
right?
Case of HX, both things.
It's both things.
So it was good to bring that up, because I think in the case of Kemper and Fractal, I think it's just a matter of feel. The sound is the same.
You said you think the Kemper has a Kemper sound?
It does. But it's less than Poo and HX. I think the HX is too much like that.
But I think generally people agree that the Kemper, a quad, a Fractal are a level above an HX, right?
Yes.
I think everyone agrees on that, right?
Yes, I agree. Yes. So like I would easily have a Kemper quad. Now, the only thing I separate universal audio for is the feel. It seems to have a tube-like feel, a kind of compression. That's the only reason I highlight universal. But I would have any of those devices, and I'm reviewing like this because I'm traveling a lot, and it's a lot of pedals.
I see.
I was looking at my suitcase, it's weighing 16 kilo, not including the guitar.
You'll soon find a sound to carry around with something this small. Yeah, when your back starts to hurt, it's already hurting. It's hurting, and I'm pushing it.
Yeah, I recommend you watch a clip of Degon, him saying he was going to start reducing. Then he goes, well, now it's good. Soon after, he says, it's still cluttered. Reduce more. Soon after, reduce more. Then he says, it's still cluttered. Reduce more.
Man, but it's because I use a lot of effects, man. I do a lot of things like that. One thing I'm a slave to is the volume pedal. I've tested several volume pedals, but I'm a slave to the Ernie ball, which breaks the string, which is a hassle and needs to be replaced. I had the Dunlop, I've already tested the Boss, and they don't have the same dynamics as the Ernie ball. And I'm stuck with this pedal. I've been stuck for years like this. I've had 3.
And the wonder of the Ernie ball is that it's gigantic. All the others are small. The Ernie ball is a giant thing. Its footplate is very large.
So it already takes up a part of my board that already messes up the setup.
And the small ones? Are there any small ones that are nice?
So, but I feel a difference in the size.
This week I need to get a volume pedal, and I want a pedal that has both wah-wah and volume. Is there such a pedal? Yes, there's one from Joyo, I think. But I want a tiny one, small. I don't want a big one. Oh, there's Joyo and there's another one too. Really? Yes. And it's the same for both. Is that it? That's exactly what I want. Man, yeah, China is amazing. It's about having just a little... I want a pedal that has both and is small, because I heard there is one. So I want a wah and a volume pedal that is small so it can fit in the backpack. Then it will work.
I also think, man, that there's something about what you want and desire and what would be the ideal world versus what is practical. I think practicality, there's no point in saying it doesn't matter, because at some point it starts to matter. You travel a lot, Aroeira, right? You're on the road maybe half of your month on the road, more or less. Half the month, 15 days.
3-4 times a week. It's week when the Wednesday, on the Friday, on the Saturday. The other week too.
So for you, it has to fit your body in the sense that, man, sometimes you can't check in. There's a risk, right? Exactly.
That's what you said. Because I never check in. Nothing at all. I go with a backpack. Got it? They're quick trips. We travel like this. It's very fast. Thank God. You go on Friday and come back on Saturday. Then Sunday you're at home, but Monday you go and return on Tuesday. You go, it's all quick. So I take a change of clothes, the Tonex, the delay, and now I'm going to carry the volume pedal. And it has to fit in the backpack. And that's it, matter settled. Guys, it's a lot of traveling. It's a lot to handle if you have too much stuff. It's beautiful, but you have to find a way to manage.
Except, man, for mega structures that travel by truck and all, it's that thing. Well, but I ship it until the day they lose your pedal board or break it. And it has already happened.
They end up breaking, they end up breaking, they end up breaking. We talked about it off camera. I said that Magnus saved me. That's how it was. Goal simply didn't send my pedal board. And then it was a big show. Everyone was there. Aline, Midian. And then I talked to Leandro and he said, man, but my flight is at the same time as your show, so I'll be on my way back. And I didn't have anyone else nearby. I only knew Magnus from Instagram. Like I had never. And the only person who was going to play after me, who had time to get the equipment, was him. I said, man, can you lend me your camper? That kind of thing, right? Man, I asked to borrow equipment worth, I don't know, 15, 20,000 from someone who, without having the kind of familiarity to joke around. It's really complicated. And then I asked, he lent it to me. Just be careful, okay, and all that. The chubby guy is a good person. Yeah, and I got it, 5 minutes before playing. I plugged it in. There were already some. Then, man, I had to use his presets here, kind of try to figure out what was what. Then Leandro was closing his suitcase like this. I said, hey, Leandro, help me here since you have a camper, Leandro Esteves. Then Leandro said, oh, man, this camper here is not like mine, without touching anything. There. Damn, then it was messed up. But then it worked out great, man. Like, his presets were really good. Like, everything went well. 203 presets and the play went smoothly. Like,
and did your equipment go somewhere else? My equipment didn't even go.
My equipment stayed in Rio de Janeiro. They didn't send it.
But it arrived at least. You got it back, right?
They wanted to send it to me. Just as I was coming back, like, I had to file a lawsuit because the guys...
Did they lose the thing?
No, they didn't lose it when I was leaving. They wanted to send it to the hotel. They called me. I was already on my way to the airport returning. He was already going to be in Rio, and the thing, I said, man, I'm going back to leave. Then, anyway, what craziness.
As you can see, right, man, this is the real world. So thinking that practicality doesn't matter is a matter of survival. If you couldn't get anything from anyone, you would play the show with your guitar plugged directly.
Exactly. And take a Koviv in the... Actually, there was Eberson too, who was with Zesad. He said he had some small pedal board, though, that he could lend me. But it was a pedal board. I wasn't familiar with and all, so then the sound of the... I understand.
But it's not your sound, right?
Yeah, it's complicated. It changes everything, man. But now you're happy with the Tonex, right?
Tonex, and now in November I'll be even happier.
Because of the updates.
Exactly. And the delay now is the small volume pedal.